Hey guys, what's going on? Rico Garcia, founder of EcoTech Pro. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of adding a public adjuster to your arsenal when going ahead and filing for an insurance claim. So make sure that you stick around for this video. Hey guys, thank you so much again for watching the video. Today what we're going to be talking about is public adjusters. Now, there's a lot of different opinions out there and a lot of do-it-yourselfers, but really what I think is the biggest scenario that holds people back from hiring a public adjuster is a lot of distrust, right? So, of course, being in the restoration business when we're dealing with fire, smoke damage, water, mold, you name it, there's typically the majority of clients end up filing for an insurance claim, right? So we have a huge database of individuals that have ended up doing business with us, calling us, asking us for advice, etc. And a lot of these individuals, homeowners, have gone out and they've decided to open up a claim on their own, file for a claim on their own, and kind of, spearhead this entire process. And more often than not, every single time that a homeowner has done the process by themselves, they've really bitten off a lot more than they can chew. Now, of course, look, there's a lot of really smart, savvy individuals out there, and they're very, very in tune with how that process works, and it works out just fine for them. But as a general rule of thumb, most homeowners have only filed maybe for a handful of insurance claims. In most cases, it's their first time. So they're not even familiar with their insurance policy, what's covered, what's not. And they're not familiar with the semantics, right? What to say and how to say it, and what pieces of documentation you need in order to put yourself in the best possible position to get the maximum return. So as a restoration company, one of the biggest assets that I have for my clients is making recommendations for public adjusters that I know are worth their weight in gold. Now, a lot of homeowners have a tendency to say, look, I don't want someone to come in and take a portion of my money, right? The claim that they're gonna get. And I do understand where that initial sentiment comes from. However, a public adjuster who's really on your side is going to only step in if he feels that he can go ahead and get you above and beyond what you could have ever gotten, right? To make sure that no corners were cut, to make sure that there's not a stigma that's created in the property. In other words, let's say, for example, that you have a certain type of baseboard and there was a portion in the house that was affected by either water damage or mold or whatever the case may be. If those baseboards don't match the rest of the home, well, guess what? You are entitled, or should be entitled, to getting all of those baseboards replaced so that they all match, because if not, it causes what's called a stigma in the property, right? Come time to sell the home, someone may notice and say, hey, look, why don't these baseboards all match? And that may bring down the value of the property. So a good public adjuster is going to help you not only navigate all of these waters, but make sure that the insurance company is doing what they're supposed to do, which is to pay you and get you whole again. That's where a good public adjuster is really going to benefit you. Not to mention that they're the ones that are going to go ahead and do all of the follow-up. They're going to file for the paperwork, and they're going to make sure that they're keeping the insurance company accountable. So when should you bring in a public adjuster? In my opinion, I think that the moment that you believe that you might have a claim or that you have a situation, it's smart to go ahead and reach out to either the restoration company to see if they have a recommendation for you as far as a public adjuster is concerned, or go ahead and contact the public adjuster right from the onset. So that way he can kind of outline what the possibilities are and what kind of a battle it is that you're facing. Is this going to be a slam dunk for you? Is it, do you have a covered peril? Is this a true cause of loss that's easily identifiable, and this is what was damaged, and here you go, this is what you need to file with the insurance company? Or is it more of a convoluted scenario where you had a water damage claim that then potentially leads to a mold claim that leads to something else, right? And the public adjuster is really going to be able to help you call in this claim. To give you a little bit of an example, most insurance companies hate to hear the M word, the mold word, right? And the reason why they hate hearing the mold word is, or I shouldn't say that they hate hearing the mold word, it's actually quite the opposite. They love hearing it because it gives them the opportunity to really go ahead and limit their exposure. So for example, most homeowners have about a $10,000 mold coverage in their policy, right? Well, if a homeowner calls in and just says that they have a mold issue, well, then that limits any kind of potential water damage claims that they could have had, right? So a lot of times it's all about the semantics, it's about the wording, it's about how it's presented, and no one really has that inside track better than either a seasoned restoration company that's consistently dealing with this, or a public adjuster. I would say is always valuable to bring into a claim, because 9 times out of 10, if you have a good, reputable public adjuster, they're going to be able to guide you in the right direction, only take on your business if they feel that they're going to be adding value and not taking away from you, and just overall just make sure that you are in fact whole. The other major benefit to this, having a public adjuster on board, is estimating, right? So insurance companies, for the most part, use a software called Xactimate, which is basically a national estimating software that most restoration companies use when submitting their bids and their invoices to the insurance company. So these are very, very detailed reports with measurements, linear foot, square feet, you name it, an exact breakdown of the property and the areas that have been affected, and everything is basically outlined in that estimate. Now, if you don't have a public adjuster, what you will be handed from the insurance company is say, hey, this is what we're going to cover, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, and they're going to give you this fat stack of papers with a line item after line item after line item of what's covered. And if you're not well versed in what the market price is, what should be covered, what shouldn't be covered, if the real world price matches this software price, it's really going to be difficult for you to go ahead and to intelligently and knowledgeably be able to argue with the insurance company to say, hey, no, this is what this is worth and this is why. Whereas the public adjuster uses that exact same software as the insurance company, and now can battle with them through this software and be essentially speaking the exact same language. So again, if you have a claim, I always suggest to my clients, if it's a decent size claim, and in fact, they do want to file a claim, to make sure that they at least consult with a public adjuster and try them on for size to see if they're a good fit, and take it from there. In my opinion, I think that they've been, the public adjusters, at least that I've worked with, have really done a tremendous value for my clients, and typically everyone's always really happy with the end result. The people that haven't taken on a public adjuster, however, sing a little bit of a different song, right? A lot of these claims end up getting denied, or they get severely underserved. In other words, the amount of money that the insurance company ends up handing them is a lot less than what they were supposed to get in order to go ahead and complete whatever repairs they needed in order to get their house back to a pre-loss condition. And there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of, fine print. There's a lot of red tape. And again, if you are the really adventurous type, I would say go ahead, have at it. But having a public adjuster on your side is, in my opinion, always a good idea to at least make a couple of phone calls and get educated as to who can potentially provide you with that service. At any rate, I hope that this video helps. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, share the video, and as always, feel free to go ahead and leave a comment below. I will answer personally. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, any concerns, or if we personally can go ahead and be of service to you, feel free to reach out and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Bye-bye.